Good morning. I always have to pause for 1 second because I'm like, is it morning, afternoon? What time zone are we in? Monica, Claire, Lisa, Jean, Ryan. All right, everyone else needs to turn the camera on so it's not like a bunch of black screens. We have a fun conversation today. The question is, anyone using reverse prospecting or likely to sell now? Okay, great. So we'll have some new magic tricks today, things that we can do, and let's get started. I'm not in my normal habitat. I'm here at another Compass office in New Jersey. And they'll get a little glimpse of what we've been talking about over these last few weeks about some of the cool AI stuff. So, all right, let's get started. All right, so today we're going to go through reverse prospecting and likely to sell. If you're not using this, this should be part of your pitch. It should be part of your strategy. And this is one thing that I know that really drives results. And it's really interesting. I have another house that I'm selling with another Compass agent, and her and I were going through this together. And I was like, call this person, reach out to this person. She's like, how do you know all this stuff? And I'm like, because one, I have an agent account, right? Two, I teach this to people, so I actually need to know how to use it. All right. So reverse prospecting, it's finding buyers for your listings through Compass agents. So if you think about it, reverse prospecting in your brokerage can be done in two ways. Number one, obviously through the platform, but number two, your leadership team has a wealth of information of people that sell within local price points in most of the markets you're in, right? So that'll be more for the coming soon phase, but I have a secret ninja idea for you for coming soon that most people don't think about. So let's go through the basics of reverse prospecting. There are two things that have to happen, right? Number one, you need to be a listing agent. So you can't go on and find random buyer leads through reverse prospecting with other people's listings. Number two, the buyer needs a collection, right? So one of the reasons that setting up a collection and working in this entire platform is important is because one part really drives the others, right? So when you look at Compass AI and all these things that are coming out, if your CRM isn't organized like we talked about with clean data, it can't help you. If we all don't have collections for our buyers, or reverse prospecting strategy is meaningless. If every one of your buyers had a collection, this strategy becomes so powerful, especially during the private exclusive phase where we're trying to drive traffic through a home. The worst thing you want to do is talk about all these great things about private exclusive and have like one person show up. It looks bad for you, it looks bad for the company, and it's bad for the client. Now, four ways to use reverse prospecting. There's obviously private exclusive. Two, there's coming soon. Three, there's live on the market. And four, there's price improvement. So let's go through each one. Private exclusives, you can go in and get a list of people. And we'll go through the different ways that you can prospect the people, but this is the perfect way for agents that are showing buyers similar properties to bring them in for feedback, right? Remember, we talked about the purpose, outcome, next step. Well, we can reach out to our colleagues much easier than we can at someone at another brokerage. Like, hey, I'm doing private exclusive. The purpose is that we want to see if condition and price match, or the sellers think of doing Compass Concierge, but we need to get purposeful feedback, right? That's the purpose. The outcome is of the feedback is, will the property sell at this price? Or the next step is, we're going to do the improvements, right? So that's one area. Coming soon is another area that people don't think about. Look, it's naive for us to think that every agent is paying attention all the time and then they're going to get their buyers the properties right away. So coming soon offers us another opportunity for those that did not engage, those that we did not connect with. Now, here's the interesting part. Do you know consumers can go on, hit yes, no, or raise your hand? You know, a consumer without an agent at Compass, like any other website, can go up and set up a search, correct? Do you all know that? Why is that important? Somebody tell me.
Because they can get connected to any agent in whichever market.
They can get connected to an agent. Why else? In terms of marketing your listing.
So they can tour it and reach out and view it.
For it, right? Who here has ever canceled a listing and marketed it as new? Anybody? I know I did. And why do you do that?
Relaunch it for a variety of reasons, potentially.
so that somebody gets notified that the listing exists, right? So why is it important to do coming soon? Every single consumer that is in your marketplace that has a public search set up, not a collection, gets a notification that a new listing is available through coming soon. So I know coming soon is going to be a pain in the ass. It's 24 hours. Why do I need to do all this stuff? I would simply do it because we could tell the people every consumer in our market that is not represented by an agent will alert us. And that's better than them going on a third-party portal and talking to a random stranger, right? Live on the market. If you have not connected with people in phase 1 and phase 2, it is a great time to do reverse prospecting. And look, I would screenshot the list of agents, right, in your reverse prospecting. And if you did a price improvement, I don't like the word price reduction. Price reduction has a negative connotation to it, Alana, right? So what we want to use is a price improvement. We're improving the price to make it more marketable to a large buyer pool, right? So why is that important? Because if you change the price point, generally speaking, it's going to be a new pricing bracket. So it'll open it up to a whole new group of buyers where you can do reverse prospecting all over again. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, cool. All right, so let's talk about the different ways to take action, right? So here, when you look across the bar, here like the main tabs that you want to think about. Obviously, the agent is who to contact, right? Listing count. Why is this number really important? Because you can tell if somebody has 7 listings, 70 listings, 15 listings. If somebody has not that many listings, we know they're very particular. 2, views, how many times they viewed the property. That is a high likelihood that they're really interested and I should pick up the phone and call somebody. You could see how recent their interest was, right? If they put a star on it, I could reach out to Rhonda and say, hey, Rhonda, I noticed your client favorited our property at 109's Greens Farms Road. Would love to connect and get you and your client in during private exclusive, right? So whatever it is, or coming soon, or to see if they had additional questions, whatever it is, but you have to pick up the phone and call people or walk over to their desk if they're in the same office. Comments. This is one that no one really thinks about that I think is the most important. You can see in the listing, like in reverse prospecting in the field, how many people made comments within that property in the collection. So if you see a lot of interaction, not that many listings in their collection, they interested it. You could see they just viewed it like 15 minutes ago because, buyers that are interested in homes keep going back to them over and over and over again. That's a really good lead. And then also you could see if they requested a tour, right? So there's only so much information you could fit into the 500 or 800 characters in the MLS, the agent only remarks. Can we all be honest with ourselves and know that we have more information about a home than we could ever communicate in that limited text amount? Great time to call the agent and talk about it. Remember, the clients hired you to sell their home because they feel you know it the best. This is your opportunity to be a proactive salesperson. And I like to connect everything together because I don't believe in working in silos because it's not a system, it's not productive, and it's not scalable. When you go into listing pitches or presentations, whatever you want to call them, I always say pitch because a pitch is a two-way conversation. A presentation is like this, one person talking to one or many other people. And you want to pitch, right? Like Shark Tank, it's a two-way dialogue. When you go into a pitch and you have this kind of tactical information to share with people, you're in a whole other category. We were talking about this. I had dinner with Rory last night, and I was talking to his chief of staff earlier. And he goes to me, and he used to be on the growth team. He's like, I just don't understand why every agent isn't a Compass. Like the difference in what we have in tech and offering, plus what you guys have in local offering, data and leadership, like the distance is like somebody on the last mile of a marathon and somebody just trying to train for a marathon. It is such a large gap, but you need to be able to show up and be tactical in the way that you communicate. All right, reverse prospecting by the numbers. So here's the thing. There's a button that says everyone to contact. That's like if you want to just send a dump email to everybody. There are people to contact, and then there's a way to check who you contacted, right? It's built into a system. Now, when you hit the button, there's like a little email button, right? You could check 10 people and you could send an email. Now, there's a personalization button that your AEM can show you. And the cool part is I can tailor the message. They have an email template you can start out with. but we learned how to make great property descriptions through ChatGPT. So I would encourage you to personalize the email because it gives you a link to the listing. It gives you a link to the collection. It gives their client ID so they know which client it is. Because let's not think that every agent knows every client, every collection by heart, right? So this is a way to process this in terms of a working system, right? Everything that we've just talked about is a step-by-step process that you can follow. Email template plus personalization, right? Tell the story of the home. Don't just say, hey, I noticed your client has a search set up and here's his ID number. Like, it's just so impersonal. It's not the way that we talk to people. It's like very robotic. So customize the template. Phone calls. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about your client? And I could tell you exactly how they would live in this home so that when you do a showing, it could be more thoughtful, tailored to them, better for you, better for me. You don't say that, obviously. But you have to call people. Does anyone call people now when they have new listings and they know that somebody might have a buyer? Anybody? One, two. And both these people happen to be in our coaching program. So thank you. Make me feel good. You have to call people. Sales. If you think emails alone will run your entire business, you're sadly mistaken. It'll run part of your business, but you'll never maximize all your opportunities. And by the way, talking to people is how you build personal relationships and connections. I can't tell you how many times I have won a deal as a buyer's agent because people had a relationship with me because I chaired my young professionals network, but they also knew my clients were really buttoned up, right? Like I really went through the process. I don't believe in vendor relationships. I believe in partnerships. So when I would refer somebody to a lender, I would say, all right, make sure in advance you pull, your last 2 years tax returns, your last 3 months bank statements, your W-2, any financial. I would give them a whole checklist and say, send this to the lender in advance so that when they do their 1004 MC or whatever the form is for like qualifying, you can have a conversation of substance and they don't waste an entire call of yours and your time just asking for basic information I could tell you. But you can't do this stuff if you don't talk to people. All right, let's get into likely to sell. And I know we're going to have lots of questions about this. Anyone use likely to sell? Do you know, as of like, this is a couple of years ago, 12% of the people actually moved. It's pretty wild, right? So if you think about it, it's built on a proprietary AI algorithm that looks at tons of different data points. And it recommends you somebody that they think will sell in the 12 months. Now, to be really clear, these are not leads. These are cold leads. These are people that for whatever reason, they think they might move. So how we target this, how we make this an active lead generation system is really important. So you need a plan. So step one, remove anyone on your list that you would never contact. You just sold a home to, it's your friend. Like there are people on there, right? So what happens? Remember we talked about how decision fatigue works? The more different things involved in making a decision, the less likely you are to do anything. Absolutely anything. So you need to clean this up. Clean data is usable data, right? So remove all the junk and your AEM team can show you how to click the buttons. And if you guys want a little bit later, I could just pull up the screen and show you guys as well. Number two, group and tag. Remember the CRM is a closet. Obviously you want to group them as leads, but you need to make a tagging system, right? Can anyone tell me what the purpose of a tag is?
Identify different groups of clients.
Identify different groups of people. Gene, I saw you unmuted yourself.
Just to be able to efficiently target people if you're working on something specific to narrow your database down to those group of people.
Bingo, right? Remember the CRM is a closet. Groups are like shirts, pants, right? Tags are like t-shirts, button-up shirts, collared shirts. Like it's how you filter people. Now, it 100% should drive your content marketing strategy and how you reach out to these people, right? And I'll go through some ways if you want to call people what you actually say. Tagging strategy. You need to know for each bucket of people what you're going to do, right? So these people aren't contacting agents or anything else like that. So number one, local content marketing, right? Explore, experience, dine. I'd go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I have what's called a likely to sell. That's somebody based on a Compass AI algorithm that's likely to move in the next 12 months. I need to build a local content strategy around things that they can do, great experience they could have, and the best food recommendations to send them weekly so that they start seeing value and I can build a relationship with them. If you want to build a relationship with somebody, be of value. I hope I've been of value to you because I value my relationships, and I look forward to meeting you guys all in September when I get there. So be of value. Don't try to show value. Showing value is about you. Being of value is about them. So you need a strategy. If you don't know what to do, I would literally go into ChatGPT and say, here's what I'm looking to do. I have no idea where I get started. Here's the information. Here's the program. Here's the resources I have. Ask me questions one by one so you can build me a strategy. That's how easy it is with technology today, right? You don't have to figure this out. Outreach plan, email, calls, campaign. You could send a one-off email. You can call people, right? You can campaign to people. Campaign is the last one we talked about. That's content marketing. Calling people. So before I give you an answer, if someone was to call a likely to sell, what would you say? And if you don't know, make something up. And somebody new volunteer. This is like getting free one-on-one coaching right now. So it's a good deal. Don't be shy. I'm not moving forward till somebody speaks. Rhonda, you're the winner. All right. I'll be the client.
What would I say? I would just ask you how you're doing and if you're
I'm doing great, Rhonda.
good. That's good to hear. How's everything with your home? You ready to sell? Just kidding. I wouldn't say that, but
You got to remember, some of
how's
these
everything
people,
going?
life is good. Now we're assuming that you actually know me. So everything's great. We've been
Okay.
enjoying the house. We got away. It's really hot this summer. So we're going to come back in like the next month.
And how's everything going with your children? Are they off to college yet?
Yeah, they're leaving next. They're leaving. I have one leaving in 2 years and another one leaving in 4.
So you're going to be an empty nester soon.
Yeah.
Wow. How's that feel?
Weird.
Yeah.
You have kids for so long, you have no idea what that's like. And, my wife and I really just, every time we come home now, the kids are of that age, like their friends are cooler than we are. So every time we come home, it's like an empty house. It's silence. It's strange.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a very different feeling. Have you thought about making any changes?
No,
What if I were to present you with an opportunity to make it that might make you want to change?
I like the word opportunity.
I may
So
have someone interested in your home.
Oh, okay, perfect. So look, she started a very natural dialogue with somebody and she went right to the close, right? So there's two paths. Like we could try to close them in one or build a strategy for future communications, right? So at first I would start with all the people I know, right? And then I would say it just like this with enthusiasm, sarcasm blended together. Like, Rhonda, this is crazy because I know this is the last thing you're thinking about, but like there's such low inventory and such opportunities in the market. If you ever had a hallucination of selling and getting a crazy number, just let me know. And like, we have a lot of people looking in the area. If not, enjoy your home. But in 4 years, when we start getting to that place, like we should plan ahead so that you have a really solid plan, even though it seems far away. The time, I think, with kids goes by really fast. Something simple along those lines, right? So you'll be able to gauge, like I was engaged in that conversation, right? So it was very easy for her to like trial close me, right? But if I wasn't engaged and I wasn't, then like I would do that. So it's like one of two things, right? And look, really, do you know what you're doing in that conversation? You're just planting a seed. And that seed takes time to grow, right? So one day I could see some news articles that say in Phoenix, Arizona, sellers are getting all-time highs for their homes over the last 20 years. I might call Rhonda. Rhonda, what were those opportunities you're talking about? Right. So think about it. Then there's email, right? Hey, Rhonda, hope your summer's been going great. you know, here in the market's been really crazy. So I've just been sending emails out to anyone that has a home in this neighborhood. If they know anyone else that's looking to make a move, I wouldn't even ask them. If they know anyone else that's looking to make a move, please keep me in mind. I think you could remember when buying a house, how stressful finding a house in a specific neighborhood could be. P.S. No need to respond. Just want to reach out. Hope you're having a great summer. If you need something, let me know. By the way, write this down. P.S. No need to respond is one of the greatest lines you could do. So I think we'll run this back again. So we have this Thanksgiving challenge, right? Where we use the Compass platform and we send these gratitude videos. I have never, ever, ever, ever in my life. Like they used to have this program, Bomb Bomb. I love Bomb Bomb. I actually won like one of their video influencers awards. Like, or I'm sorry, I was a runner up, but it was the thing was rigged. My videos and what I did was better. You can see I'm still a little salty about it, but I used it all the time. So one day I came in on Thanksgiving Eve and I was like, I'm going to send a personalized Bomb Bomb video to every person that ever bought a house with me in their life. And I was in the office till like 11 o'clock at night. But I have never seen anything, A, re-engage my database, B, get more replies, and C, actually get leads, right? So if you think about this, it's like, I would say, hey, it's Chirag, in the time of year giving thanks, I just want to say how grateful I am for the opportunity to be part of such a big transaction or transition in your life into this amazing home. I remember you shared, I insert the personal memory. I hope, Rory, Drew, and Archer, I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. P.S. I know you're really busy. No need to respond. I was just thinking about you and want to share this message. Happy Thanksgiving. Everyone responds. Because when you say P.S. no need to respond, it takes the pressure off the other person. It makes them want to respond. No one wants to respond to a sales message. Nobody. Inspired actions. Use reverse prospecting for all your listings going forward and use it on your pitch. Now, here's what I want you to do. When you're starting something new, outcome-based time blocking will make you never want to do anything past the time block. Why is that? Our brains like things that are certain and comfortable, right? It's why we all like just staying the way that we are. And every time we want to do something new, your brain's like, no, 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 right? So if somebody has not reached out to their clients, a very likely thing that people do all the time is like, you know what? I blocked an hour off, Chirag. I'm going to call 10 people. I'm like, really? And they're like, what do you mean, really? I'm like, do you know how to have 6-minute conversations? The answer is no. That is a very specific skill. So at the end, no matter how great the conversations are, you're going to be disappointed. And the next day, you're going to be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not going to feel good after it. So when you're starting something new, you'll need about a month to do something based on activity to know what the actual outcome could be, right? So if I'm going on likely to sell, I block 15 to 30 minutes just to start removing all the people out of there. Then when that's done, I would go to grouping and tagging, right? It's consistency. It is a long game. Like when you want to clean out your database, activity over outcome. I'm just going to archive the strangers that I don't know that are currently in my home for 15 minutes a day. I don't care how many I do. I just need to know that I do this action consistently enough that when I want to block time or I figure out how long it is, my brain is not going to sabotage the action. That's where Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the 5-second rule comes from. She goes, within the first 5 seconds, your brain will try to talk you out of anything you want to do. I remember for years, I took cold showers, and every time before I took the cold showers, would listen to my thoughts, and I'd be like, don't do it. You're going to freeze. You're going to be cold. You can get sick. You can't miss work. Like nonsense. All right. So we have 5 minutes for questions, but before I share this with you, has anyone seen the new improvement on ChatGPT that happened last week? All right. So no one really had a good reason besides people that are weird like me that like to just invest in everything to try it. Like I have the $200 version. Now it actually makes it worth it. So ChatGPT released something called agent mode. Now in the $20 subscription, when you get it, you'll get like 40 use cases. Monica, you'll really like this. And so what happens is it's the first form of agentic AI. Agentic AI is AI that can actually do something for you. So, and it could do multiple things at once, right? So with my $200 version, I get 400 tasks, right? I'll have my EA running 6 of these things at once. Since ChatGPT connect to your Gmail, it could scan and summarize your emails. It could like make calendar appointments. It could go and find dinner reservations and book them on OpenTable for you. It could plan entire trips. Now, I went and did a real estate search. What was really interesting was One, how many websites are outdated based on their coding, so they don't even come up. But I was watching this and it's not there yet, but it will be. Can you honestly tell me that why would a buyer ever go on Zillow when I could go on ChatGPT, hit the voice dictate, and tell it every detail of my life and say, now find me homes? And it not be more accurate than what you could do and what a portal could do? Do you think that's real? Do you think that that's very far away? No. Now, I don't share something with you to scare you. I want to open your eyes, but I would not be me if I didn't give you a solution. There's only one thing that AI cannot do like you do: listen, engage, and effectively talk to people. So I'm telling you this, every prediction I've had about market trends, interest rates, whatever it has been since COVID has been 100% spot on. We talked about the NAR settlement for more than 2 years before it happened, and our entire client base was like, all right, I've heard Chirag talk about this for 2 years. It's not like a big deal. Because I started telling people, what are you going to do when you have to charge a buyer for your services? Do they even know? Do you even know what you do for the compensation you receive? For most people, is no, right? So with this, when we talk about role playing and practicing, there has never, ever, ever, ever be a more important time in your life to learn how to talk to people than now. It is the only skill that the AI cannot today take away from you. And as much as you like talking to a robot, you like talking to a person better, right? It's the same reason that people like meeting in person over Zoom. I prefer anything in person. It's why people invest so much money to fly into our office for a day and work with us, because it's very different. An hour in person is like 4 hours on Zoom. Why that is, I still don't know, but that's the case. So I have a couple minutes. Does anyone have any questions? Anybody? Monica, is last week our final week? Wow, that
Yeah.
went fast.
I did.
All right, so let's figure out a date for like a bonus Ask Me Anything. So over the last 12 weeks, like if anyone has any questions or comments or just kind of application-based things, I want to continue to be able to support you. And we'll make the session 45 minutes, not like 30 minutes. And look, from my perspective, you guys have shown up at a time where most people have showed themselves out and are checked out. So you should have a competitive edge, right? And the other part is, if you're going to do the work, I'm always willing to do more work, right? Like I have an infinity for people that want to do things. And look, from my perspective, the most important thing is not that you're here, is that you actually use the stuff that you learn. That's all I care about. I have this weird obsession with this. Claire can tell you that, and so can Susan. Like, I'm always like, all right, how are you going to use stuff? How are you going to use this stuff? So look, we've been on an incredible journey. It's just the beginning. I will be there September, some date to be determined at the end of the month. So I'll get to meet you in person. We're going to get to spend some time doing some training together. I'm going to bring some of my friends that are amazing agents that work within our ecosystem that can share some cool things with you. And look, you've invested the greatest and most valuable resources you have over the last 11 weeks is your time. And for that, I will always be grateful for showing up for me, showing up for your brokerage, and most importantly, showing up for yourself. So with love in my heart, I love you all. I have to go figure out this tech in here, and we're going to be doing live AI demos. Our session today is called Scaling Yourself with AI. So make sure to take advantage of this. Look into ChatGPT Agent. It will blow your mind away. Like literally.
Hey,
I can try to
Chirag,
teleport you.
Can
Yep,
I
go
ask you
ahead.
a really quick question?
You could ask me 3 questions.
This one will be really quick. I added a VPN to my phone. Does that block ChatGPT from working? I keep getting an issue that says there's an issue with your question or something, and it's since I put that on there.
I have no idea. I would go into ChatGPT and say, here's the response I'm getting for you. I just added a VPN. How do I fix this? And what does it mean?
Yeah, it'll tell me I still have the issue. I'll do it in Google and see if it'll tell me.
Well, try it. So here's what you want to do.
Anything I ask it tells me that there's an issue. So I have a feeling it's got to be
Turn the
VPN.
VPN off and see how it
Yeah,
works.
I will.
Yep.
Thanks.
Love how it's great. We realize now too that we need to provide more tech support for these companies, like because there's weird things that come up, like even with the Applaud note and everything. So look, it's a fun summer ahead. Just keep investing in AI. So for Claire and Susan and anyone else that wants to join, our AI Accelerator course starts tomorrow, right? So we could not be more excited about that. Monica, if you want to join, obviously you can join. So since you seem to just shoot me a message. All right, everybody. Love my heart. I love you all. Everyone have an amazing day. And I hope you guys don't melt out in the desert. And I'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
It's beautiful here.